Hey there, Virgo, and welcome to your May 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, entrepreneurs, and anyone who's working on their self-expression, personal growth, or spirituality in any form. So if those areas of life are important for you, I encourage you to go ahead and keep listening. You can use this reading for your sun, moon, or your rising sign, and it's also possible sometimes they don't resonate, especially in the beginning of the month. So I encourage you to maybe experiment a little bit, come back to this video at the end of May, and see what connections actually do exist. These are general readings, so it's possible sometimes there aren't any, but what I find a lot and the feedback that I get is generally that the reading syncs up a lot more than they expected. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. While I was tuning in, I had a really bizarre meditation for you guys, and I feel like there is this energy of seeing yourself, Virgo, in the world around you. And what I mean by that is May is a month where you're going to recognize signs and omens. Particularly what I was getting was through animals, which, I mean, I was seeing something about a black crow, but I was also seeing an owl, like a white snowy owl, and I also was seeing other like birds. So just to keep it more brief, I think you could be getting kind of little moments of synchronicity for yourself that come a lot through bird symbolism this month. And I think that you're also going to be, like, I don't know what kind of work you do, Virgo, but I feel like there's something about what you're doing this month that requires you to really go into almost a trance-like state or a psychic state or a very creative in the zone sort of state of being, and that you're going to get so much out of that. You're going to get so much, again, synchronicity. You're going to get a lot of knowing. You're going to be feeling this sense of like a pervasive sense of connectedness between yourself and the world around you. So again, it's a very mysterious meditation because it feels to me that there's a lot of intuition coming up for you this month, that you're going to be in May really relying on your intuition. But it's coming also to you in this sense of meaning that you're getting from seemingly random events that are really syncing up with other things that you have going on internally and things that you have going on externally. So one of the guideposts or pieces of advice that I can give you, Virgo, and that I think will be really enlightening for you in May is if you do have like kind of an interaction with, let's say, a bird species that you don't normally see near your house, and you notice like, oh, that there's an owl. I don't normally see owls outside my house. Take out a book of animal symbolism and look up that species and see what the book says. Or if you don't have any books on animal symbolism, you can also just do a quick Google search. Like, what does it mean when you see a fox? You know, or what did indigenous cultures around the world associate with peacocks? And see, like, because different cultures around the world have had very well developed treasure troves of symbolism that relate to the animal world. So if one saw a particular animal in a dream or in real life, there was a meaning to that. There was a message to that. And I feel that this is really important for you, Virgo, because you're going to be getting insights. And I think that it's also important for you to tune into what the moment that you have, like whether it's a dream moment or a sighting in the actual world, whatever it means to you and on a personal level, that's the first step. But then also enrich that experience by going and doing a little bit of research on it, because I think that you're going to be really surprised at the connections that you see, and you're going to be having these moments where you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't believe that just happened. You know, there's just a real sense of power and a sense of wonder and awe with the cosmos in your life. So again, very like mystical meditation, but I had to just share that with you. I know you guys are my practical, grounded Virgos, but I think this is going to be a pretty magical month. So get ready for it. Let's take a look at your cards. Virgo, spirits, please give me loving, accurate, and helpful information for the Virgos. Loving, accurate, and helpful information for the Virgos. Virgo, do you need Virgo to understand Virgo's energy? Virgo's energy. Holding space for Virgo. Space for Virgo. Guidance for Virgos. We're also going to get a Bob Ross message for Virgos. Beautiful. So let's take a look here. Oh, remember in the meditation, I said, like, what does it mean when you see a fox, right? That is so cool that the fox card came up. I love it. So cool. And we have an eagle, a bird. Just like I was saying, foxes and birds in the meditation. This is so freaking cool. I love it, Virgo. I love it. I love it, and you should love it too. So your path with the fox in May has a lot to do with thinking your own way. When I look at the fox in this deck, one of the things that I notice about it is that it seems to me like this creature really has an intelligence, like an innate intelligence and a cleverness to it that's part of the archetype of the fox. And I think it's really well illustrated here, where the fox, you can just see he's got that kind of intelligent gleam, or that almost kind of snarky, very, very like bright, like that's the word, it's bright, of an intelligence, of a mind. You can say it's a bright mind. You're a bright mind this month, Virgo. And I think that you're going to find that your powers of perception are increased, okay? You're going to find that things that you can take action on and that you know deep down that you should, you're going to, if you just step into the rhythm of that, you're going to find that you actually are able to like hit all of your bases. You're going to be able to cover all the details, which is so important for a Virgo, but you're also going to be surprised at how quickly you think on your feet. That's the message that I get with the Fox card. And I want to snap because I feel like it's just good. It's like a good metaphor for that energy. It's like you're able to adapt, and that makes a lot of sense because Mercury will be entering Gemini, and that's your ruler, so you're going to have the ability to think really clearly, basically. I mean, when your ruler is in its other house of, domain rulership, you're going to find that you have a certain dexterity to you. So that's really natural. But the eagle crossing you, this is a really profound message. Whenever you get the eagle card, I don't know if you've been watching my videos for a long time, but the eagle doesn't come up very often. And when it does, it really is about seizing a moment of importance. It's about feeling everything align in your life so that you can really exert your will successfully. And both of these creatures, they're both very powerful perceivers of their environment, right? Like foxes have that very perceptive gleam in their eye, that bright gleam of intelligence, and the eagle is known for being able to see things very accurately from very, very far distances. They have one of the best eyesights of any creature on the planet. So what I get here is that the gap in the market, right? Speaking metaphorically here, but it's like the gap in the market, the opportunity, the wave that you want to ride, the need that you see, the problem you can solve. If you're an entrepreneur or a creative person or an artist or a counselor or a healer or whatever, you're spot on. You've got your finger on the pulse of life. And so it's important right now. I feel like these cards are saying a huge green light, a big yes to your perception of here's something that I can do that will be effective, right? You go into that, Virgo, you go there and you do it because you're going to succeed with it. So let's take a look at your cards and we'll get some more information. Wow, just like I was saying, like going into things, right? Knight of Swords, King of Cups, the Fool, Two of Swords, the Chariot, Five of Swords, Four of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. So what I get here, Virgo, is that there's some messages in this reading that apply all across the board to May, and there's some messages that are specific to the week that they're showing up. One of the messages that I'm seeing that applies across the board is this theme of suiting up, Virgo. So what do I mean by that? Whatever you're doing, I want you to prepare your physical body for it. So, for example, if you are looking to, maybe if you're going on a job interview or you are doing something online, even like starting a YouTube channel or doing whatever, I want you to prepare your physical body and prepare your, I guess, persona for that activity, right? That's one of the things that I have learned in my process is that preparing myself physically for doing readings or for making content, that's everything. That's part of my ritual. Putting makeup on is part of my ritual. Painting my nails is part of my ritual. And even in the myths from Britain of Lorelei, that's one of the things that is said about witches is that a witch can summon power by brushing her hair. And I think that that is such a beautiful symbolic thing, right? It's one of those things that we don't necessarily think about. We might think about, conducting a ceremony or doing a ritual, literally at our altar, a magical type of ritual. But the things that you do every day to prepare yourself for an activity, that is going to make you feel better. Like for me, if I have my hair taken care of, if I use a nice conditioner or I'm brushing my hair, or if it's, the color is reflective of how I want it to look. You guys probably noticed if you've been on my channel for a while, I change my hair somewhat regularly. And there's just something to that. There's something more than just it's a superficial thing. It's not just that. It's an energy thing. It's you attract good energy when you feel prepared. So do whatever you have to do, Virgo, whether it's, if you're making videos, set up a really nice area first. Set up a good backdrop or organize something that's behind you. Or, if you're doing something like a podcast even, drink some hot tea with honey in the hour before you start and do some vocal exercises, some vocalization exercises. Just whatever little things that you can do them to prepare yourself in a practical way, but do them also with the intention that you are gathering power. Okay, that you are preparing yourself not only in practical, pragmatic ways, but also energetically preparing yourself to be able to do your best work, whatever that may be. So that's one of the themes that I see, because you've got the Two of Swords, right, which is showing the person she's blocking herself. So if you're a very empathetic Virgo, which many Virgos are, you might want to find some ways, especially also with the Chariot, find some things that you can do that make you feel comfortable, especially when you're interacting with people that you might be trying to help, right? If you're a counseling type of Virgo, or if you're a nurse or a healer or a coach or a reader, think about the things that help you feel like you can stay in your own energy, stay in your own role as a helper, but not kind of crossing over that energetic boundary into picking up all of the emotions of the person that you're connecting with. And then I think that also applies on a very practical level. Like if you think you need a haircut, get a haircut or see if you can do it at home. I mean, I cut my hair at home, and I think that it's one of the things that once I learned how to do it, I will probably not really go back unless I just really feel like I want to go into a salon and get it done. But I do a lot of things myself, and I think all of them come with a sense of intention and a sense of feeling good about being able to nurture myself. So that's kind of one of the themes that I'm seeing in your spread is it's okay to do things yourself. It's okay to put a little bit of extra time into your self-care and into preparation. Like I said, even in practical terms, like warming up your vocal cords before you do a podcast or before you have a meeting over Zoom or whatever. Now let's take a look at the the week by week play. So we've got the Knight of Swords and the King of Cups. So the way that these are, they're kind of looking in different directions. For the first week of May, I do think that it's possible that you could feel like you're rushing to kind of get things done, or you're rushing to share some kind of message, right? I feel like there's this energy of gathering with those cards. There's an energy of gathering intellectual information, a way of gathering communication ability, even language capacity if you're learning a language. The first week of May is sort of like an assimilation and gathering week, right? That's really what we're seeing. And because the King of Cups is kind of a receptacle. Cups are a receptacle. So I think you're kind of working very much on the intellectual level in the first week of May and really sorting through your thoughts and sort of assimilating and gathering data or information of some kind. And I think that that really is going to be the best use of your time. So research, gathering information, strategies, data, holding all that stuff within you and really using the King of Cups, which is the feeling orientation, to decide which of that data or which of that information that you're gathering is actually going to be the most useful for your project, right? Because you're going to get a whole, if let's say you're working on a book or a research project or whatever, you're going to gather a ton of research, but then only a certain amount of that, like only a portion of that is going to end up in the actual final product. So it's about gathering and assimilating and then deciding what's important in the first week of May. The second week, we've got the Fool and the Two of Swords. So you're going to be branching out and doing something new in the second week. And because that week begins with the Scorpio full moon, which is going to be falling symbolically in your third house of learning and teaching and communications as well, it could very well be in relation to one of those areas I just mentioned. There could be a lot of focus for you on taking a class or teaching a class or assimilating knowledge, information, working with languages, or even doing something in your local community, because the third house also represents the neighborhood as well. So it's like kind of like the locale where you live. But whatever this is, I think you're going to be doing something new because it's the Fool. But with the Two of Swords, it's like you also need to retain something for yourself. And I think that's really important for a Virgo because you're a service-oriented sign, and it's super easy to recognize the importance of something that you're working on and then get so like enmeshed in the details and so thorough about it that you kind of, by the end of the day, you realize, crap, I didn't work out, I didn't take care of myself at all. I really overgave of myself and my energy. That can be a common thing for Virgos. So definitely like doing something new and branching out and being open, but also having some sort of parameter around that so that you can feel comfortable that you're not just going out of your comfort zone and doing something way different and crazy and now you're just out there, with no boundaries. It's like you can go out of your comfort zone for a little while and then come back into your comfort zone and just feel, okay, you know what? I'm good. I could manage this over time. So that's my advice for you in that second week is yes, do something different, get outside of the box, but also have your like rope with you so you can pull yourself back into the box or whatever. You get what I mean, but it's like you don't want to be too kind of open and crazy and going overboard because then you're going to exhaust yourself. So have some clear boundaries. Time-wise, I think is a big part of that. Like if you're gonna go live on social media or something like that, have okay, this is going to be 1 hour long, and just set a timer, and it's like, okay, I'm going to get off after an hour of answering questions or whatever. And so you're not just committing yourself to something that's going to be way over the budget that you've set for it. Third week of May, we've got the Chariot and the Five of Swords. So there is a sense with these cards in the third week of May that you could feel like you are breaking off from like either an individual person in your life or a section of people in your sphere of influence. And I think that it's important for you to be aware that not everybody's going to like what you're doing, Virgo. Nobody can please everyone, which is obviously so irritating for a Virgo to hear, but nobody can please everyone. And so with the Chariot, it's again that sense of suiting up, right? If you are suited up, you've got your armor, you've got your manpower, you've got your sense of clarity about your purpose, you've got your thick skin, then you're not going to be as wounded by the rejection that may come your way because somebody doesn't like what you're doing. Maybe somebody wishes you would keep doing the old thing, like, right, you're going over here in this full direction. And some people are going to be like, wait, but I really liked, the thing you were doing before. So you want to just be clear about what you're doing, of course, but also know that you can't please everybody. So you might as well just please yourself. And then the people that actually resonate with you where you're at now, authentically enjoying your path, those are the people that you're going to be able to genuinely benefit anyway, right? So it's okay if there's a little breakup that happens because you can handle it with the Chariot. You're strong enough to handle that. And you're going in the right direction anyway, so you don't need to question it. Like, don't use someone else's misunderstanding of what you're doing as a sign from the universe that you're not on the right track. Don't give other people that much power. You also don't have to explain yourself, Virgo. You don't have to explain. The Charioteer doesn't have to explain what he's doing to these people who are fighting. He doesn't have to stop and put a bunch of time and energy into justifying himself, right? He just goes. He's the Charioteer. He just goes. He just goes on the journey. So trust that everybody's going to get what they need. And if you can't be the one to give someone what they need, then you need to free them so that they can get it from someone else, right? Or maybe just realize that they already have it within themselves. So that's going to be the message. The fourth week, we've got the Four of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. So again, we have this energy of holding and self-protection. And I don't mean that in a negative way, like, oh, you need to protect yourself, Virgo. But I do think that because you have these like more sensitive cards, like the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups, and the Chariot also he's the sign of Cancer, right? And this is going to be around the time of that new moon in Gemini in your 10th house. So I do feel that this is like a sensitivity or a touchiness coming up around your career. And I think that the direction that you're taking things in is very new, and it's very tender, and it's very authentic. And so you want to have a thick skin about it, because when you're starting this new path, there's no way to get around the vulnerability of that, right? There's no way. You have to just go into it, Virgo. If you're going to do something different, you have to just go in and accept the vulnerability piece. But you also want to be sure with the Four of Pentacles, like he's got the pentacle in front of his chest. So he's like, no matter what happens, no matter who says what about what I'm doing, like that any negative energy isn't going to go straight to my heart. Like that's kind of the message that I get, is if somebody's overly critical or just wants, like frankly just wants to hurt your feelings, it's more like this energy of almost having like a breastplate, like a breastplate or like an armor thing that an arrow can't go into. There's a certain confidence about wearing something like that. There's a certain confidence that I'm sure that knights of the past felt once they put on their armor, it's similar to when you put an apron on to cook dinner. I always feel different as soon as I put an apron on. It's like, all right, we're in dinner mode. And it just feels different. It tells you that you are engaging in a new role and that you have a different expectation of yourself, right? Before you put on the armor or the apron or whatever it is, there's a ceremonial aspect to that, which is again, coming so beautifully full circle of the magical nature of common everyday rituals that we engage in, like putting makeup on or like putting on our apron in the kitchen when we're about to make dinner. These are simple things that we do without thinking about it, and they have a practical purpose, but it's also, there's this subconscious head change that happens when you're prepared. And I think that is magic. There is magic in that everyday, commonplace, ordinary thing. And so I think for you at the end of the month, it's like doing whatever you have to do to feel safe, doing the things that are new and different with the Queen of Cups, or more creative, more intuitive, more sensitive, and just preparing yourself energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally to engage in that process. It's all about the preparation for you, Virgo. You want to create a nice container for you to do your work this month. Ooh, let's look at your Bob Ross card. So it says, talent is pursued interest. Anything you're willing to practice, you can do. I think that is so spookily accurate with everything that I've been saying, that it really is about just taking those actions. You know, if you have a goal, or if you see an opportunity for yourself right now, Virgo, I think that this entire reading is really confirming that there's veracity to that sensation, and that you are experiencing one of those important crossroad months where you can take your life in a totally different direction. And I think that this is something that's very much in alignment for you, but in order for you to get your sensitive self on board with it, you need to do some really self-loving behaviors that create the boundaries and create the container that will make you feel safe enough to go on this new journey, right? With the Fool. So don't go into it unprepared. Be spontaneous after you're prepared. That's the message. All right, Virgo, thank you so much for being here on my channel. I absolutely love you guys. I hope that you have an amazing month in May. I'm sending you tons of love and light. If you would like to say thank you and let me know you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving this reading a thumbs up. You can also leave me an emoji. Let's do a little dove this time. So if you have emojis, do the little white dove emoji, or you can just write like dove or eagle or your favorite bird, right? Because you got bird energy coming up a lot in this reading. So just write your favorite bird or give me a little bird emoji, something like that. I think that would be so beautiful, and I just love getting those messages from you guys. And it also really supports my channel and the algorithms, because any engagement on this video supports my channel's growth, and it reaffirms as well that people are engaging with this content. So if you want to just let me know that you're with me and say thanks, you can always leave me a little bird comment below with your favorite bird or an emoji. And I will also put a link to donate. If you want to donate, even just $1 is so amazing and so helpful. And every donation I receive, I say a little prayer of gratitude for 100-fold of blessings to be returned to the person who sent it. So definitely I'll put that link below. Also the link to the Astro Self-Care, Lunar Self-Care Moon Mapping course. I will put the information below for that. That starts on the Scorpio full moon, and it really takes you through an amalgamation of homeopathy, astrology, lunar returns, and personal self-care practices that I have used for myself for quite a long time. So if you want to go into astrology with me, I will put the information for that below. Okay, guys, sending you tons of love. Thank you so much for being here, Virgo. Take care of yourselves. Have an amazing month, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.